Hello, hello, hello. This is a conservative lady coming in, making a live video from the Midwest. Hope everyone is doing well. I want to come in and talk a little bit about the California fires and why people are leaving. Why are people leaving? Well, this wildfire that has destroyed different parts of California, Malibu, Malibu, Palisades, and other areas. It's making people don't even want to stay there. I mean, if you think about it, everything in California is so high. People been leaving California for a long time. The property taxes, housing, everything is through the roof there in California. California to me is overly priced. Is really overly priced. And I think people go there for the beaches, for the weather, the warm climate. They don't want to be in cold climates, but it's so hot there. It barely even rains. The grass, some of the grass in different areas is like literally brown because it doesn't rain. But a lot of people is so many people have lost their homes. It's like unbelievable. I mean, it's to the point where the land itself is worth more than the home itself. By the time you try to rebuild, it's not going to be worth it because the property taxes there are sky high. To turn around and rebuild again, some people will rebuild, some people won't. Some people say, you know what, the heck with it. We're leaving. They looking for other places to go. Now, mind you, there is a crisis in California where there's limited housing. There is limited housing in California. Now, in the Biden administration, they already brought in these illegals who have taken over a lot of places. So a lot of these families are displaced. So I did find an article. I want to talk a little bit about why people everything you need to know about the fire in California and how many people are affected. So through about powerful winds and dry conditions, a series of wildfires erupted last week and rode it across Los Angeles, killing at least 27 people, including some who died to try to prevent the fire. A lot of people were there on their roof trying to put the fire out because there was a shortage of firemen. They didn't have no firemen. Didn't have water in the reservoir. They didn't have a water in the fire hydrant, and there was a shortage of firefighters to come out and even try to help. But what's the need of even coming out and helping? And there is no water to help put the fires out. But 27 people died, including those again who tried to put the fire out that engulfed their home, destroying thousands and thousands of structures. I mean, thousands and thousands of people are leaving Los Angeles. They don't want to even be there no more. A Los Angeles fire official said an untold number of significant injuries were linked to two of the fires, and a city official in Los Angeles described that night of January 7th as one of the most devastating and terrifying that they've seen in their city. Now there's been other fires in the past. Yes, there have always been fires in California, but this takes the icing off the cake. This is one of the worst fires there have been. The Palisades fire erupted in the morning of January 7th in the Pacific Palisade at Los Angeles neighborhood east of Malibu as a brush fire. The blaze, which had grown to 23,713 acres, were 49% contained by Saturday night. So that means from the time the fire started, in the beginning, it was 0% contained. It was 0% contained. By Saturday night, the week of the 7th, it was 49% contained. So you can imagine how much houses have burned from what January 7th all the way to that Saturday, only 49% contained by Saturday night, according to California Department of fire protection. The California chief said that the fire likely damaged or destroyed more than 5,000 structures. Now, Governor Newsom and Mayor Bass, they are totally responsible for this. The chief of the fire department was a woman, and she got terminated. Bass terminated her because she went on the news and she gave a report about they dropped the ball. So now this whole situation with people trying to find places to stay, people can't even find places to stay. They got the homelessness over there in California. They got homelessness, and it's just one thing after the next. I mean, it's nowhere to stay. A lot of the people, they are leaving. They are leaving the state of California. A lot of people have always left California, but I think more of them going to leave. For them to stay and rebuild, it's going to cost them even more money. And a lot of people just don't have that. Even people who've grown up there and grew up there, they just don't have the resources to start over again. To start over again in California and rebuild, it's already costly. They even said many people are still missing. A lot of people are still missing from the fire. They can't be found. I don't know if they got burned in their homes. I'm not sure what happened, but one person was saying that he last heard from his mother on January 7th, and then he was at he was at his apartment when he was speaking to her on the phone, and after that, he didn't hear anything. The next day, he said he didn't hear anything from her, but the next day she could pick it up on a local market in Michigan. But as the evening went on, Margaret kept seeing updates about the outbreak of the fire. So I said, Kevin, you have to leave. He said, I'm okay, Mom, she would call. So what happened next is Kevin decided to occupy a strange place in Los Angeles, fire missing, but not confirmed dead. So he is missing. There's people missing over there in California. So another thing, people are trying to rent, right? People are trying to rent because they can no longer afford. They just can't afford it. They just trying to do what they can do to have a roof over their head for their families. So what's happening now? The places where they want to rent, uh, they are price gouging. The landlords to rent a place over in Los Angeles. Say for instance, if a place is, I'm just giving a rough number. We already know Los Angeles is really expensive. So just say for instance, a place is uh 1,500 a month, 2,000 a month. But let's say 3,000 a month. Just say a place is 3,000 a month. A person, it's being jacked all the way up to maybe 9,000 a month. So the prices of the renting is out of control there as well. So like I say, a lot of people either gonna have to figure out something, go to another state. I don't know what they're gonna do. Some people do have insurance, but it's very few because State Farm had canceled the policies. They canceled the policies. So a lot of people, like I say, they have evacuated. They have evacuated California, and they don't have no desires to even come back. They are fatigued. They are fatigued. People in Southern California has yet to return home to the wildfire. What are they going to return home to? For real though, what are they going to return home to? A lot of people are in shelters, and it's so sad. I was watching some of the people on the news, and a lot of people are in shelter. The evacuees from the Palestine fire are in a shelter in Los Angeles. So no strangers to their not a stranger to natural disasters at all. The Pedro Rodriguez keeps a safety bag in his car with essentials like jackets, gloves, and running shoes in case he needs to flee in a moment's notice. So this guy, Pedro Rojas, he keeps a safety bag with him just in case he have to get up and speed that. And that's not a bad. I think that's not a bad idea. A lot of us should have like a safety bag or a fire kit nearby, just in case we have to get up and evacuate or get something happen. But Rodriguez Rojas didn't wait for an evacuation order. He and his family rushed out of their home Tuesday night, minutes after seeing strong winds and the Eden fire starting to ignite, and took refuge at his daughter's home nearby Eagle Rock. All he grabbed was a box of important documents, which is good to have. Documents are always good, important documents. I myself have a safety fire safety box in my bedroom with a key with important documents in there. So you guys, get yourself a firebox with a key and put some safety documents in there. At least, God forbid anything happen, you can grab that. Put like birth certificates in there, social security card, marriage certificates, important paper, anything of importance. The deed to the home, just very important documents that you would need to have to prove yourself and your family. Keep them in a lock box, a safety box, fireproof. Keep that in there. At least you can grab that and run on the way out. But it's terrible because he said we the house with nothing, left the house with absolutely nothing. But it's sad because your life is much more important. But to have to leave, it's really sad. Rojas stated within hours a family of 11 was forced to evacuate again. Now Rojas is staying at a hotel about 15 miles from where his daughter said, and he doesn't know when he'll be able to return home. While the house is still standing, it needs chemical testing and smoke and ash cleanup before the family is safe for the family to return. Some very few people house is still standing, but like he say, chemicals. These houses got to be tested before people can return. We don't know if it's going to be for 1 or 2 or 3 months or even a year. Rojas said, adding that he was been trying to get temporary housing through his insurance company. Rojas was among 41,000 people who had evacuation notices nearly 2 weeks after the LA fire started, drowned from a peak of more than 170,000 earlier this week. So it was initially 41,000, right? And then from a peak of more than 170,000. That's a lot of people. Many were staying in temporary housing like shelters, hotels, short term rentals, or with friends. Officials face multiple challenges ensuring that areas are safe and habitable, means stay there, safe to stay there. The properties have been damaged beyond belief. They are full of sediment, debris, and hazardous material. LA Public Works Director Mark Pestrella said Thursday, adding an environmental protection agency is working to remove toxic debris. So yeah, a lot of families is out of work, and evacuees helping a lot of people get into shelters. Frustrated Los Angeles County evacuees are anxious to return to their homes to survey damage, retrieve necessary figures out of their insurance losses and assets that will be salvaged by their remaining property, but they'll have to wait at least another week before it's safe to do so. There isn't this extreme frustration. There's this extreme level of frustration. University of California. It's just pure extreme frustration. It's really a function of trying to keep them safe. So the wildfire evacuees tend to experience evacuation fatigue when they are unable to return home due to danger of flares, toxic smokes, hidden hazards, and debris, fallen trees, down power lines, gas leaks. Additionally, energy, water, and sewer infrastructure has to be restored to impact the neighborhood. So this is going to be a big job. So someone was saying they have to piece houses together. All of these houses pieced together, they're gonna have to get a bulldozer in there, and all of these houses, what little it is, have I don't know. It's a lot. Firefighters have done their best to help out with these fires, but a lot of them been working like a straight 2 3 days straight, 2 3 days straight. So yeah, so a lot of these people are just in pure devastation, pure devastation. I mean, it is no excuse on the face of the earth while there should not have been water in the reservoir and also the fire hydrant. But a lot of these houses were up like near the mountains, from my understanding. Then some of the houses I was seeing were near the beach, and so there should have always, when you, let me tell you something, when you paying as much money as you do for those houses in California and taxes, you got to make sure if something happened. How come them people didn't make sure before all of this? I mean, you got to make sure you paying out all this taxes and money. Mel Gibson, he was another one that lost his house. Um, I think they were saying the lady who sings the blues, she passed away in her house. All of this money being put out, and these, you got to make sure you have what you're supposed to have. Their lives have permanently changed forever. So you never know what can happen. It don't matter if you're rich, you got money, poor, you never know what can happen. But it's going to take a long, long time to clean this all up. Homes destroyed. I mean, uh, Altina, California as well. That was another era. Homes destroyed by the Eaton fire are seen in Aldina, California on Thursday. Families affected by the wildfire are trying to figure out how to go about their lives. How are you supposed to go about your lives and rebuild your lives? Survivors have to piece together temporary housing and rebuilding plans while dealing with the loss of schools. Those kids are going to be replaced with schools, places of worship, and other community access to daily necessity like clothes and medicine and food can also be challenging. So, um, it's also intensely personal for each homeowner who've lost everything they ever collected and moved from house to house. Most people do want to go back and sift through what may be there and mourn. The rebuilding process after wildfires usually take 2 to 3 years or even longer, and many of these homes you may not even be able to, because it's going to burn so bad, it may not even be able to be rebuilt. You might not even be able to rebuild these homes at all. As impacted homeowners work through the recovery efforts, several major financial institutions will offer a 90-day grace period on the mortgage payments. So that's another thing. They have a grace period for their mortgage payments, meaning they don't have to pay. You were in a house fire. I mean, they still gotta pay. They, after the 90 days, you're still responsible for paying your mortgage, even though that house is not there. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Your house has completely burned down. After 90 days, you still responsible. It's just like a loan, college loan or car loan. You can have a deferment or whatever, but after a certain amount of days, okay, guess what? You don't have to pay, but your interest is still going to build. It's the same with these people who got to pay a mortgage. You have that 90-day grace period, but after that, you still got to pay. And during that 90-day, the interest is still going to build. Homeowners are promised protection from new foreclosures and eviction for at least 60 days. So it could take about 12 months before a family will be able to live in their home again, a whole year. So they need somewhere to temporarily live. But there's still some questions about when they will be able to get there and start, if any. All of this can do kind of plan to plan. So this is a lot. This is a lot. Um, just hope for the best, and I don't know where these people going to do, but it's dangerously unacceptable. To somebody got to be held accountable for this. Somebody got to be held accountable, and I put all the blame on uh the Democrats, Gavin Newsom and Mayor Bass. It's not going over to the other side because the Republicans weren't even in office. The Democrats was in office. So they need to be recalled. They need to be recalled, and something needs to figure out. All of this stuff gonna end up. Uh, Trump might have to come in and figure out something. So yeah, so that's just want to come in and talk to you guys about how people are getting up, moving out of the state because they feel it's not even worth them staying there. It's not even worth them staying in California because the property taxes itself cost more than what it's going to be to rebuild. Can you believe that? Can you believe that it costs more in property taxes and then it costs to rebuild, and it's really not worth it. In California, the cost of living in California is constantly going up. The property taxes is one of the highest in the nation. I think California is on top. Then it's New York. Then it's Chicago. So the property taxes is in California is nobody can deal with that. Some people may consider moving down to Florida. They may consider moving on down to Florida, but the taxes in California is just too much. And that's one of the main reasons people going to leave. Even if they don't want to leave because of taxes, they just don't have the money to try to rebuild again. California average property taxes remain relatively low at 0.68% of property assets value in 2025. So I don't know what's happening, but why are the property taxes in California so high? Why are they so high? Who's getting making the money and stuffing money in their pocket off these people? I mean, you want to stay that bad? How much property taxes in California you calculate? So if depending on what the house costs, and like I say, wherever you stand, it's really not even worth even staying there. You got what, Los Angeles County, Orange County, San Diego, different places, country by country breakdown. So uh yeah, it's really expensive, and people uh don't want to stay there. They really honestly do not want to stay there. So they're saying it's important to understand the property taxes in California as they control your home ownership. You must stay informed regularly, review property tax bills, and take advantage of available exemptions. So again, I don't think it's really worth it. But like I say, a lot of people, they really and truly they want to rebuild. I think I would say maybe 60 to 75% of people uh, is probably gonna be leaving California. 60 to 75%, definitely over 50%, definitely over 50%. So, the people who got really good money, they are the ones who gonna benefit. They're going to benefit, and maybe they can afford to stay there. But a lot of people can't afford it. A lot of people would not be able to afford to stay in California. So, guys, think about that. If your home burnt down in California, right? All of your livelihood, everything you always own, would you consider on rebuilding? So, some people do want to rebuild. Some people do want to build, but what they're saying is that they're trying to speed it up. The California lawmakers trying to move to speed up rebuilding recovery in Los Angeles for the new legislation. So let's see what happened. Lost lawmakers across California announced new legislative proposals intended to speed up rebuilding recovery in Los Angeles as thousands evacuate their home. Most of the proposal bill worked to protect homeowners and renters impacted by the destructive wildfires that tore through and more than 50 square feet over the last week, burning schools and churches and neighborhood homes and apartments. So we'll see. Maybe they'll be able to reenact something quickly. They state that they will move quickly to approve some billions of dollars in funding. California Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas told reporter in a new conference on Thursday. So they gotta definitely get that debris and different stuff out of that, and then see what happened. The bill to speed up rebuilding for homeowners and those people who want to stay there, they're gonna stay there, but their property taxes gonna be high. Bills to protect tenants who have been displaced. So there's gonna be a bill also to protect tenants. Current law says 30-day rule for Los Angeles tenants rent kick while they are staying in short-term rentals such as hotels. Like I say, trying to rent a home or trying to rent an apartment, they price gouging, they going up. And I think that should be against the law, guys. I don't think they should be price gouging and going up in a time of tragedy. But this is what people do. They want to get make all this money, and they want to charge people so much in a time of misery and hardship and grief. They don't care, and that should be against the law. That should be against the law. So again, guys, I just want to come in and talk a little bit about the California fires, about people are trying to get out. So a lot of people don't want to stay. They trying to find other states to move to. I know Florida is a possibly good state. A lot of them people going to move to areas where the climate is warm. I can't see them coming down to like Illinois or New York. Anywhere where the climate is warm, they probably would want to go, those who are able to relocate. So again, prayers, guys, for everybody in California. So sorry that happened to them. They lost everything. It's a sad shame to have to lose everything. Most people say, oh, they got money, they can rebuild. Everybody would not be able to afford to rebuild. A lot of them people were rich. Yes, they will be able to rebuild, but some people will not. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And let's get Gavin Newsom and Bass out of office because something is not right. I still say something is not right. Why there shouldn't be no water to put these fires out. All of these acres and acres of homes that this fire burned down. I mean, this is insanely ridiculous. I mean, it just burned and it was burning for days. It was burning for days. Let's see how many acres burned. And I think I did read it earlier, but let me see if I can figure out how many acres burned in California. How many acres? So we'll see. In the California wildfire. California wildfire. So it's just really sad that anybody would have to experience anything like this. So I think I did read it earlier about how many acres burned. Uh, this number here. Wildfires of California have burned more than 1 million acres this year. More than 1 million acres burned this year, and a significant increase from last year. So acres are always burning, but 1 million burned this year compared to last year, as the state entered one of its most dangerous time of the years of the fire. California stats on Tuesday showed that 6,528 wildfires so far this year have burned. So, they need to get out there and cut down some of them trees, like Trump said, and clean up their forests, because it just take one little spark. You clean that stuff up and it won't be nowhere for nothing to go and burn. Things need to be cleaned up accordingly, and hopefully they can stop some of the fires from coming. So it's really sad. But let's see. I'm thinking how many homes burned in the wildfire. If I had a number, I would say maybe over 10,000. 10,000 homes burned. So more than 12,000 homes and businesses and school structure have destroyed by the wildfires ripping through greater Los Angeles. So it says the California Fire said in an update on Monday that a total of 3,000 acres have burned across multiple blazes. So at least 24 people died. It did go up to 27. More than 100,000 have been forced to flee their homes. So where are all these people going to go? I have a suggestion before I leave the live. How about we go on and send those people back across the border, and let's get rid of them, and maybe we can help some people here that really needs the money, because they really do need it. They really and truly do need it. So guys, just keep California in your prayers, and just thank God for another day that you have, I have, and we never know what can happen, but always thank God for what we do have. Okay, you all take care, and I'll talk to you soon. This is the conservative lady leaving out now. Bye bye.